Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel for another video, and in this one we're going to be going over the new Imperial Knights detachment that will be coming with the Armageddon campaign supplement. So without further ado, let's get into what Imperial Knight players will be getting. This detachment is the Freeblade company, and let's start as always with the detachment rule, which is Knight of Legend. Imperial Knights army from your Imperial Knight models from your army have a Feel No Pain 6+ ability. In addition, at the start of your command phase, each Imperial Knight model from your army regains 1 lost wound. This is nice. This is very nice. Adding a couple more layers of tankiness to models that are already quite tanky. So basically it's making your opponent think, hold on, I have to take these guys down quick because they've got a 1/6 chance of shrugging off what I can throw at them, but they can also get wounds back if I leave them alone. I like this detachment rule a lot. Still, we now press on into the enhancements for the Freeblade company, and we start with the Mysterious Guardian. Imperial Knights model only, the bearer has the Deep Strike ability. Yes, you can drop a massive ass Questorus Knight, or even bigger, pretty much wherever you want them. Once per battle, at the end of your opponent's turn, if the bearer is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, it can use this enhancement. If it does, remove the bearer from the battlefield. In the reinforcement step of your subsequent movement phase, set the bearer up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches horizontally from all enemy units. If the battle ends and the bearer is not on the battlefield, it counts as destroyed. So standard deep strike there, but being able to deep strike a knight and pretty much have it go where you want it. I mean, close combat knights are going to love this. The closer range Dominus class knight will love this. The urban to be gallant. All of the close range knights will love this enhancement because they can just get in close enough to do their deadly work. Very nice. The next enhancement, Classic Sanctuary. Old staple from Imperial Knights codexes of editions past. Imperial Knights model only, the bearer has a 5+ invulnerable save. Now you're probably saying, but Malice Knights already have an invulnerable save. And you're correct, they do. But only against shooting. Sanctuary gives them that 5+ invulnerable save against everything the invulnerable saves can be taken against. So again, it's another layer of survivability for, say, a closer range knight that wants to be in fisticuffs but can't rely on its invulnerable save if it needs to whilst it's in fisticuffs. So it seems so far a lot of themes is adding subtle layers of tankiness to Imperial Knights, which are already relatively tanky to begin with. The third enhancement, Bringer of Justice. Imperial Knights model only, improved the attack characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 2, and each time the bearer makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Again, playing into the thing of this detachment favouring mid but especially close range knights. And it says weapon, so the Bringer of Justice could be the Thunderstrike Gauntlet, it could be the Reaper Chainblade, whichever one you prefer. 2 extra attacks, +1 on your hit roll. Very nice, very solid, we like it. The final enhancement is the first one that really benefits knights with range. Hunter's Eye. Imperial Knights model only, ranged weapons equipped by the bearer have the Ignores cover ability. Now, this will become especially telling with how some of the changes of cover are going to be made with 11th edition, which I will cover in a future video. But the fact of ignoring cover, stick it on something like, say, the Night Warden or the Paladin. Flush out those troops on objective markers or just hiding behind cover. Again, a very solid enhancement. And all of them in their own way are very solid. Granted, a lot of it tailors towards a more closer range build, but you can't complain with any of them. I mean, my personal picks, because I prefer a more range style Imperial Knight army, would be Sanctuary or the Hunter's Eye. But you can definitely make a case for any of these four enhancements to be used. None of them are bad. They're all pretty damn good, to be honest. And you're not going to be losing out using any of them. But now let's get to the stratagems for this detachment. Now, as usual, when I do these detachment reviews, if you haven't watched them before, unless I specifically say, each of these costs 1 command point. And we'll start from the top with Noble Sacrifice. You can use it in any phase on an Imperial Knights model from your army that was just destroyed. You can target that unit with this stratagem even though it was just destroyed. Your unit's deadly demise ability inflicts mortal wounds on a d6 roll before, plus adding 1 if the result was an Armageddon unit instead of only a 6. So basically, somebody kills one of your knights, you pop this, it explodes on a 4. Or effectively a 3 if you use it on an Armageddon. But there's a chance to kill your knight, better chance of it exploding and taking some stuff with it potentially. Not bad. Strength from Exile is next up on the docket. And you use it in either your shooting or your fighting phase, or in an Imperial Knight unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight in whichever phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a model from your unit makes an attack if there are no friendly units within 9 of your unit, reroll a hit roll and wound roll of 1. Nothing wrong with that, pretty solid. Rerolls are always handy. Very solid stratagem, nothing really more to say about it. Next up is Full Tilt. Now, this was a bit of a darling again, like Sanctuary from Imperial Knight Codexes of editions past. So what does it do this time? You use it in your movement phase on an Imperial Knight from your army. Until the end of the phase, if your unit advances, do not make an advance roll for it. Instead, until the end of the phase, add 6 to the move characteristic of models of your unit, or 9 instead if your unit is an Armageddon or Destrier unit. Now, I just specifically mentioned the Destrier here, which I'm happy about because I was just about to say this is a tailor-made stratagem to make the already very fast Destrier even faster. And indeed, they've already catered for this in the rule description for it. So you can have that Destrier zooming up the board and doing its deadly close combat work, or getting into a good position to let rip of its firepower. Either way, again, it's a very solid stratagem for any knight for that matter. I mean, straight up advance roll of a 6 for Questoris or Dominus will take. For your Warglaves, or to get your Helvins into position, or even your Destrier, a 9-inch, again, will take it. Point Blank Barrage is number 4 on the list. Use it in your shooting phase on an Imperial Knight army from your army that has not been selected to shoot yet in this phase. Until the end of the phase, when making range attacks with blast weapons, models in your unit can target enemy units within engagement range of your unit, provided no other friendly units are also within engagement range of that enemy unit. In addition, until the end of the phase, your unit does not suffer a penalty to its hit rolls for being within engagement range of one or more enemy units, but each time a model in your unit makes an attack with a blast weapon that targets a unit within engagement range of your unit on an unmodified hit roll of 1, your unit suffers 1 mortal wound after all of its attacks have been resolved. And breathe. basically what this is seen in a much less wordy form. Yes, you can shoot your blast weapons into enemy units within engagement range, but if you roll an unmodified one, you hurt yourself. So the description in the detachment data slate uses a lot of word salad to basically say you can shoot your blast weapons in engagement range, but you do have the risk of hurting yourself in the process. Next up is Survivor of Strife. Use that new opponent shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets, or an Imperial Knight unit from your army that was selected as the targets for one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, if the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than the toughness characteristic of your unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So basically, it's just shooting at you. It's greater than your knight's toughness. It's effectively -1 to wound. Again, another nice subtle layer of tankiness you can give to a knight. It's perfectly solid. Nothing wrong with it. Good option to have in your back pocket if you needed it. And finally, we have flanking manoeuvres. Use at the end of your opponent's fight phase on an Armageddon unit from your army that is within 9 inches of one or more battlefield edges and not within engagement range of one or more enemy units. And you can remove said armor from the battlefield and place it in strategic reserves. So if you are basically, it's a way if your armigers are somewhere you don't particularly want them, but they're near a table edge, you can use this, get them out of dodge and bring them in somewhere. Then bring them in somewhere where you actually do want them. Again, pretty solid, nice option to have in your back pocket. And that brings us to the end of the Freeblade Company detachment. So, what do I think of it overall? I like it. It's a nice detachment. It doesn't personally overtake Spearheaded Arms for my favourite Knights detachment, but it's up there. I like the extra layers of tankiness you can get with this detachment. The enhancements are all good. The stratagems are all perfectly solid, and you can make a case for any and all of them, just like you can with the enhancements. So, yeah, I've got to give Games Workshop top marks on this one. It's another very good detachment option for the Imperial Knights. So, what do you guys think of it? Are you going to be winning night plays, or are you going to be sticking with what you know from the Codex and beyond? As always, let me know in the comments, and I shall catch you guys in the next video. Bye.